Malaysia Green Building Council, also known as Malaysia GBC, is an organization that promotes green building programs, technologies, and design practices, aims to make Malaysia an eco-friendly and sustainability place on Earth. Malaysia GBC was founded in May 2009 by a group of passionate building consultants, academia, and representatives. Even since Malaysia's building has increased, the efficiency of resources used in each building was built with green in mind. Malaysia GBC is also supported and associated with most of the top industry institutions. In the year 2015, Malaysia GBC became an established member of the World Green Building Council and known to be the only organization in Malaysia to be supported by the World GBC. Malaysia GBC continues to be the platform that networks, promotes, educates, and most importantly, develops the sustainable, built into the land of Malaysia. With much more passionate industry professionals, we can make Malaysia a greener and better place on Earth.
James, you may start now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Ng, the Council Member of Malaysia GBC. It is a pleasure to welcome all to attend today's session of IGM Malaysia GBC webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, this webinar will be recorded and you are able to review it in IGM website later. I'll be the moderator for today, and I wish to thank you all for spending your precious time to attend this special presentation. BMI setting the scene for sustainability 2021 and beyond. In this webinar, we will learn about BMI's approach on protecting tomorrow. It is how BMI monitor to achieve more sustainable way in their operations and products. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker today, Mr. John Tan, the Head of System Solution and Roof Pro. With his 14 years of experience in BMI monitor, Mr. John will share BMI's sustainability efforts, which are focusing in three areas: people, planet, and product. Please feel free to type in the questions that you would like to ask the speaker, and we will address the question during the Q&A sessions. With this, without further ado, I hand over the floor to John. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for your time. Thank you for spending your afternoon with me. So my name is John, as James mentioned. I'm the head of system solution for BMI. I think for some of you will be wondering what does BMI stands for. BMI actually is the initial for Brass Monia Ecopal. Due to the rebranding worldwide, we have moved our brand from Monia to BMI. So today I have the privilege to be invited by MGBC to talk about sustainability. So I'm sharing from BMI perspective what we have done worldwide, and as much as possible, I will also try to relate to you what we have done in Malaysia as well. So without further ado, I would like probably James to show the video about what BMI have done in terms of sustainability worldwide as well as in Malaysia. So once we finish with the video, then I will start the presentation on the slides. So thank you very much.
The roofing industry has come a long way since the first use of glazed roof tiles. With technology advancement, today the function of the roof is not just limited to providing safe shelter, but also supporting the preservation of natural resources. When it comes to roofing solutions, one name stands out as the long-standing, trusted and innovative provider, BMI. We bring 165 years of experience of delivering innovative roofs that create new possibilities for the people who live and work beneath them. BMI is the global leader in roofing solutions, with growing expertise in complete roofing solutions. Headquartered in London, worldwide presence in 40 countries across 3 continents, speaks of the global quality standards the brand represents, bringing together some of the biggest and most trusted names in the industry. In Malaysia, as the market leader with over 50 years of presence in the industry, BMI Malaysia offers a comprehensive range of innovative roof tiles and components, as well as energy-efficient roof systems for homeowners, architects and developers. BMI Malaysia is a MS ISO 9001-2015 certified company, and we continuously innovate to develop and deliver high-quality products and services by leveraging on the BMI Malaysia Group's technical expertise and comprehensive resources, such as the largest sales network which maximizes the reach to customers, the biggest production capacity in the country with state-of-the-art facilities and processes, the widest distribution network which ensures efficient and timely delivery of products and services. We bring the expertise and insight to shape the future of the roofing industry. Our people make the difference. Dedicated teams and market experts assist you with design and project solutions, technical advice and product information. Our technical centers, with a team of more than 100 people at 5 international locations in Huizenstadt, Mondublo, Crawley, Waagdersbach and Groningen, play a vital role in establishing BMI as the acknowledged leader in high-quality, innovative roofing and waterproofing solutions, proactively exploring and developing new technologies, processes and materials, understanding and scouting for future market demands. On the other hand, BMI Academy offers a number of training sessions for different target groups to ensure that our personnel are constantly updated with technical knowledge and skills to meet quality goals. We also strive to better understand our customers' needs and develop new and optimized products based on insights from researchers on the markets, customers, architectural trends, processes and environmental performance. Before production, a trial product undergoes extensive testing procedures to validate that it conforms to national and international standards, durability against weather, as well as a series of stringent quality requirements. BMI, it's never just a roof.
Okay, welcome back. So let me start my slides this afternoon. In terms of sustainability, they are a very wide area of talk that I can actually do lah. But I wanted to remain focused on what our company is doing as of today in terms of the direction that we are moving towards lah. So what we believe is we wanted to align ourselves to United Nations Charter lah. So with that, next slides please. Next slide please. So we are setting the scenes for sustainability. So we are talking about protecting tomorrow is our approach to achieve more sustainable operation and product. We want what we do today, our action, to protect our children's children. I think we have lived on earth for maybe thousands of years, but we want to make sure that our generation to come will continue to enjoy what we have been enjoying, like a beautiful blue skies, clean water, we have access to good transportation and all that. So all this is about sustainability lah. So the problem now is that due to global carbon emission coming from building and manufacturing, our industry has been under a sustainable spotlight as well lah. As you know, we produce concrete tiles, clay tiles and metal roofing. If some of you might not know, in Europe itself and in many parts of the world, aside from Malaysia lah, BMI actually we produce we actually manufactured our metal roofing as well under different brand. So for that reason, I think we are under a huge spotlight, being a leader in roofing industry, basically for flat roof and pitch roof. So and because of that, we felt that we need to take the responsibility and be accountable to what we do. And therefore, we have taken huge strides to improve what we do today. And we know that we must do more, because being an industry leader, we have to set a good example for others to follow. Next. So sustainability, what does it mean to you and me? For us, sustainability is not so much about innovation, but it's also about protecting what we have. It is the common goal. It is an attitude. It's a frame of mind, one which informs our approach to every aspect of our business. So today, I'm going to talk to you about the people points of view, that the three lenses, the aspect of people, what we do in BMI, how we can contribute to the social aspect about sustainability, how we can support, what we can do to make a difference, especially like Malaysia is very diverse. We have diversity of different races. We have people from Orang Asli to Orang Asal in Sabah, Sarawak. What can we do to help, to support? In terms of product, yes, BMI, we are doing a lot of things to ensure that the products that we produce for you is environmental friendly. We are trying to do our best to make sure that the carbon emission that we generated is going to be reduced from year to year, from month to month, from week to week. This is imperative because at the end of the day, like I said, we want to hand over a good planet, a good surrounding, a good states, a good country to whoever is going to be our next generation. And then of course, planet, this is even more impactful because we are talking about the whole world. So what we do today, like for example, when we explore our clay, right? When we produce clay, you know very well that we need to we need to take the clay from the planet Earth. We need to use a lot of that, and therefore we're going to affect the environment. And metal roofing, metal roofing is even worse. Later, I will share with you about eco-balance. Among the concrete and the clay products that we produce, and also metal roofing, what we didn't know is that metal roofing is the culprit. It is the worst among the three different products that actually causes environmental impact to the entire planet because of the emission of CO2, sulfur, acid rain, as well as many other problems which I will share with you later. Next slide, please. So in terms of people, we talk about empowering and supporting our employees. We are giving people new and equal opportunities. So we always get feedback from people who are on the ground level, because they are the person who are doing the things every day. They are doing the production. They are managing the supply. They are managing our in terms of the supply chain. They are taking care of logistics and all that. So these people, we need to empower them. We need to give them the avenue to share with us how can we be responsible in terms of sustainability in our activities, in our action. We try to support local communities. We donate to charities and schools. We spark inspiration through education. In terms of product, we always talk about reducing the environmental impact of the products. We want to create products that is much more, can do more for the communities. We want to increase the use of recyclable and renewable materials. We want to embrace new renewable energy like photovoltaic, solar, thermal, hot water, rainwater harvesting system. We want to redefine the potential of a roof. A roof is not merely just a roof. A roof can be a powerhouse as well to generate electricity. A roof can be a place whereby you can use it as an attic, a place where you can keep your stuff. You even can make it to be a very comfortable room as well. So there are many things that we need to look at. And then planet, we're talking about reducing waste and consumption. We're talking about creating innovative opportunities to recycle. How can we create such an opportunity for our own company, for our own self, A lot of things like in Penang, being a UNESCO heritage site, right? You can see that all those old buildings has been recreated, I would say recycled in a way, houses, very nice houses, very old houses, pre-war houses has been recycled and reused by people, and to make it a very comfortable place, like turning into a cafe, a place like a hotel and all that. We want to protect and improve our biodiversity, and we want to champion conservation. Okay, next slide, please. Our core values, we talk about evolving, empowered, inspired, and connect. In terms of sustainability, basically, we want to have continuous improvement. In terms of empowering, we want to empower our people so that people can journey with us. People can give, can offer their so-called their insight, and also to provide certain knowledge in terms of helping us. When we empower people, basically we give them the certain ability to do what they need to do. For example, if your company is very proactive in ensuring that you use back recycled water from the rainwater harvesting system. Like, IKEA, right? IKEA, in many parts of IKEA commercial complexes, they actually use water from rainwater to basically use it for not only gardening, but they use it for toilet flushing as well. So it very much depends on the corporate direction. Inspire, we encourage them to share their ideas, new ways how to make BMI more sustainable. We connect, we want everyone across the business sector to come and work with us to make sure that what we do is really sustainable. And it is a responsibility to every one of us, not only us, but you as our supplier, you as our customer as well. Next, please. So what we do is we want to align our direction to the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. If some of you are not aware, people, planet, and product, we align it to our United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which act as a common blueprint for our organization around the world to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. Because BMI actually covers 80 over countries all across the globe. We are basically in North America, we are in South America, we are in Europe, we are in also Africa, we are also in Asia as well. So the people that works for this organization comes from different diversity, different background, different races. So the only charter that we can look forward to is actually United Nations. And therefore, we are looking at no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality. We talk about clean water, sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth. We talk about industry, innovation and infrastructure. We talk about reduced inequalities. We talk about sustainability cities and communities. We speak about responsible consumption and production. We talk about climate change, life below water, to make sure that the fish doesn't die. These are all very important because it impacts us at the end of the day. Life on the land. We talk about peace, justice, and strong institution. And last but not least, we talk about partnership for the right goals, which in this case, the United Nations Charter for Sustainable Development. Next, please. So today, I'm going to share to you from our perspective. So next slide. So people. So when we talk about people, can go ahead. Next slide. So in Malaysia, what we have done, BMI, is that we support the Malaysian school by replacing all old and deteriorated roof with a new cool roof. So what happened in Malaysia is that when we look around us, right, we realize that quite a number of old schools in Malaysia, their roof are actually leaking, and it poses a hazard to students and teachers. Timber are sagging, there are pest problem, poor maintenance, improper installation, aggravated the situation. And also, that our government also, they have constraint in terms of the amount of money that they can spend. There are many, many schools that are built all across Malaysia. Some of these schools has been there for a long time, like Penang Free School, we have St. Saviour's, we have many, many convent schools from Sabah, Sarawak to West Malaysia. So some of these schools are very old, but they don't have the money to actually maintain the roof. So that's where how Monia comes in. We saw that there's a difference that we can make to the schools. So those schools that we know that they don't have enough resources, they don't have enough capital expenditure, we actually work with them and we actually change the roof for them. Especially some of the schools we venture in, we realize that sometimes it's very sad, but there are times whereby the roof almost want to collapse, So we felt that we have a responsibility to do that. And therefore, we have done what we can to ensure that these schools are being helped. So what we do is, how much money they have, we will actually we will help them with the rest of it. For example, maybe the entire re-roofing project, right, is cost maybe around 100,000 ringgit. Okay, so if they only have 20,000, the rest of 80,000 actually is bear by us. Basically, we take up the whole cost of the re-roofing. But when I talk about re-roofing, we also talk about the trusses as well. Our technical people will go up to the roof and check the trusses. And because some of these schools are pre-war schools, long time ago, the batten spacing have actually either become rotten, batten has become rotten, rafter have become rotten, and most of these are made by timber. So because of that, we have no choice but to change the trusses as well. And after we change the trusses, we put in the cool roof system, which incorporates the special underlay. We incorporate the compact roll, which is a dry fix, and we put in whatever we need to put in to ensure that pests like snakes, bats, birds doesn't come in. So all this is put together to make sure that the roof that we are giving them is sustainable and it provides for the students and teacher a very good environment underneath for them to study. This is what we have been doing, and this project, this initiative will continue for us because we want to make sure that the schools in Malaysia are sustainable. All right, next. We did a re-roof also for a Women's Aid Center in Malaysia. If you know, there's a Women Aid Childcare Center in PJ, east of KL. And what this center does is that it houses up to 16 people at a time. And in November 2016, it was struck by a terrible fire which tore down most of the building. So we came in to help out in the rebuilding of the center, and we actually contributed the roof for them. So this construction on the new building started in 2019. And after that, over a period of time, we have actually completed the job, and the house has been handed over to the owner. And as of now, I think if you were to go to the aid center, right, it is very, very well, nicely done. And I think the owner is very happy with it. So next, please. We also did support mentally retarded children's school in Penang, in Malaysia. What happened was that the Penang state government wanted to have a new place to house teachers as well as students, especially the mentally challenged students. And the state government actually contributed 1.37 acres of land. And Ideal Property is the main contractor that we did the construction. So what we do is only contributing on the part of roofing system as part of our CSR. So that project has been done, completed, and we have actually donated Nautica roofing system for this project. The handover was in 2018, and enrollment started in January 2020 last year with 180 students in 15 classrooms. This is how we are helping our state government as well to ensure that sustainability is there. Next. And for us, I think like just now the United Nations Charter says employee, we need to take care of them because if we don't take care of employee, who then will take care of them, right? So what we do is that we come out with, for example, like we encourage people who smoke not to smoke. We also try to help our employees, especially on the weight loss program. So we will get different speakers to come in to speak to them, and we try to get the right people to basically to inspire them, to walk with them. And at the end of the day, after a period of time, maybe like 1 year or so, we want to make sure that their weight is well manageable. Because when you have a better weight management, right, you have less problem with your health. And when you have less problem with your health, you can contribute more to the company. All right. This is what we do as well. This is about sustainability, about supporting employee health, the way they eat, the way they live their lives. So-called it's a lifestyle matter. All right. Next. Basically in UK, what we do is that we provide internship for young people with disabilities. You know, in most part of the world, when you have disabilities, it limited your choice of profession. But in UK, in BMI, right, what we do is that we open this opportunity to people who are disabled, and we invited them to come and join our workforce. So what we did is that we partner with the Leonard Josiah Change 100 program to offer internship to students and graduate with disability in UK. So this project actually involves a 3-month of working experience in our organization. It can be any kind of role that they want to play, but mainly HR or marketing, which is easier because sometimes when you go into production, it's a bit more dangerous, especially for the people who have certain disability. But what is more important is that we give them the opportunity to get real life exposure to what is being done in the real world. So that helps them a lot. And some of these people who have done very well and who still wish to work with us, we continue to employ them and we absorb them into our organization. So the program actually provides a real opportunity to develop useful skill and to help to instill our interns with the confidence that their contribution will be valued. And I can really tell you that this is a success story because we are doing this to almost every year to all these people with disability, especially in this area where, Courtney, who lives with a sickle cell disease. So what we do is we provide him a course over a 6 months period to help her to overcome her fear of public speaking. So at the end, she did very well. And we are very honored that we can do something for her, even though she is no longer with the organization. But at least it is something that we want to live with her, a best practice. Okay, next. In BMI, as you know, in Europe, in construction industries, very little women are in this industry itself. I can safely say that 9% of the workforce are coming from female representation. So it's very, very little. So what we are trying to do now is we are trying to take the leadership role by recruiting more women into the industry. And I can tell you, even in Malaysia itself, even in sales or marketing, even in production, we have actually recruiting more and more women to come into our company, to come into our organization, even in production, even in supply chain. In many areas, we are trying to ensure that we give equal opportunity to men as well as women. And we have been doing that quite successfully, just to share with you. All right. Next. We also look at the health and safety. And for me, BMI, Monia, working for this organization for the last 14 years, we have learned that health and safety is paramount. It's very important that we make sure that health and safety become a work culture in our organization. And this is imperative because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that people who come to work for us, when they go back, they can still meet with their family, they can meet with their wife, their husband, their children, without getting themselves in any form of accident. So health and safety to us is a very important thing because it is an occupational hazard. And if we don't value this, if any organization or if any one of us do not comply to this, then we put ourselves at risk. A very simple thing like when you are driving, right? You're not supposed to reach down to your handphone and talk on the phone. It's not the right thing to do. Even in Malaysia itself, you are breaking the law. But if you make it a work culture, basically when the phone is ringing, you don't pick it up. You will only pick it up when you know that you are at a safe parking place. And then you pick up the phone and you answer the call, or you return the call. But you do not pick up the call when you are driving, or even at the traffic light. You're not supposed to do that. So health and safety is for us very important. And I hope that those who are listening today, you must make sure that health and safety is paramount to your organization. Make it a culture, make it a lifestyle for yourself. Because at the end of the day, your people that works with you, your employee, your bosses and all that, they will be thankful if you were to incorporate this as part of the work culture. All right. Next. Okay, now we touch on products. Okay. In Malaysia, we understand our position as a leading roofing company. We supply both flat roof as well as pitch roof. So in the pitch roof market, both for clay and concrete, we have done a lot of things to ensure that our product remain green and our product remains sustainable. So one of the ways that what we do is that we actually recycle material like quarry dust or fly ash, and we incorporate this product into our so-called concrete tiles. It's a great way to increase sustainability by incorporating all this. And at the end of the day, we were being certified. We have been awarded, by the government. What we have done, for example, we get the not only the Eco-Label certification, not only the carbon footprint certification, not only my Hijau mark, but we were also given the Prime Minister's Hibiscus Award as well for our responsibility, for our ingenuity in incorporating recyclable products into our final end product like concrete or clay. And for your information, it's not easy to do that because you need a lot of money to invest in modern and advanced equipment. But we felt that it's imperative that we do that because at the end of the day, like I said, it is our work culture, it is our attitude, how we want to make sure that our product is what we are selling in the market is recyclable. Because like I said, this is a responsibility for all of us. At the end, we want to hand over something which is good, something that is usable, something that can be long lasting to our next generation. So it is imperative as an organization, we do what we can. Even the little things that we do at the end of the day is going to contribute a lot to the next generation. So as a result, the government, the industry, the roofing community, we have garnered many different awards for us to move forward with the green initiative and the green sustainability. So you can see that most of our products have all these awards because we really do what we say and we say what we do. All right, next. Okay, Noxide membrane can reduce air pollution. What happened is in Europe, right? Air pollution is an ever-growing issue, That's why in Europe nowadays you can see many more cars are no longer using petrol, not using diesel. A lot more electric cars are coming into place to replace all those what they call petrol-driven car. So likewise, in terms of air pollution, it is an ever-growing issue, because mainly because we use different types of carbon-related products for example, like cars. Like so, nitrogen oxide is often emitted by traffic, right? Because you when you drive car, when you drive lorry, when you drive any forms of vehicle, NOx is actually one of the a culprit that causes high concentration of inflammation in the airways, particularly for the elderly, children as well as people. If you were to go to Beijing many years ago, I still can recall you can't really see the sky on the normal day because of the pollution. Beijing is one of the most polluted city in the world, because of the degree of factories and also the number of cars that they have, and it's causing a lot of problem to the people who live and work within Beijing and outside of Beijing as well. So the government has done a lot of things. So we saw this as a problem as well, and therefore our oxide membrane that we produce, what we do is we incorporate a special ingredient inside this product, and this product is actually manufactured in France, and we incorporate this know-how into our bitumen membrane, which meant to be used for flat roof. Okay, so the oxide membrane use a photocatalytic coating to harness solar energy to break down harmful nitrous oxide in the air. So when we incorporate this product into our membrane, right? When the sun hits our membrane, it does something. It does what we call as photocatalytic. It harnesses the solar and it break down this nitrogen oxide, the nitrogen oxide, so that we neutralize it. So basically from Copenhagen to Canada, our oxide membranes are already in place on roof across the world, helping to increase air quality. And we are doing the same for our concrete tiles as well. We are incorporating such technology in our concrete tiles as well. But of course, when we put this type of technology into those type of product, right, of course, it comes with a higher price. Okay, we actually wanted to do that in Malaysia, but when we went to some developers and talked to them, some of them not willing to pay because they felt it's too expensive. But in most part of the country, where places like Beijing, Shanghai, places like Paris, London, Munich, many parts of those cities around the world, people are beginning to realize how important green environment is, especially when you talk about this nitrogen oxide. So what we do is that we incorporate this into our roof tiles, and when our roof tiles goes on the rooftop, when the sun comes, when the rain comes, basically it will break down all these harmful so-called gas and causes this to become non-pollutant. And this is what we do. So with the oxide membrane, right, between 470 gram and 4,143 gram of nitrogen oxide per meter of roof can be absorbed and broken down from the atmosphere over the next 20 years period. There is a depolluting level of approximately 90% in membrane 2 months after installation. So it's very durable, and this product can continue to work, and it can last entire lifetime on the roof. It is actually reducing the waste. So this is what I want to share with you. So the science behind it is that the titanium dioxide photocatalytic coating acts as a catalyst, breaking down the NOx particles into nitride, a harmless and more environmental friendly byproducts. These nitride are so low in concentration that they can be washed away by the rain. And this is what our product do to the environment, just for your information. All right. Next. Aerolox lightweight. As you know, concrete tiles and clay tiles are quite heavy, right? We have our legacy tiles, which weigh around 5.5 kilo. Pity the roofer that carries the tiles on the rooftop. For them, some of these roofer, they are small size, maybe around 50 or 60 kilogram weight. But imagine they have to carry 5.5 kilo concrete tiles or clay tiles. And if they were to stack 5 pieces or even 10 pieces, right, it's become 55 kilo or maybe half of the weight of that. So in terms of for health and safety issue, it's not advisable. So what we have done in many parts of the world, we have developed technology that actually reduces the weight of the concrete tiles or the clay tiles to around 3 to 3.5 kilo. So it is called a lightweight tiles. And this know-how has actually helped many countries around the world where the roofer, especially the elderly roofer or roofer who have some back problem, it actually helps them a lot to alleviate those back problem. So Aerolox is good for roofers, builders, and also the planet because of its lightweight. It's very easy to install. And basically, when you have a lightweight tiles, right, you reduce the CO2 output. So for installer, right, the roofer, Airlocks to them is the ideal quality solution, especially for old. The other thing also, like some old buildings, right? The building structure is not so good. So if you were to put in some heavyweight tiles on the roof, it might not be good for the foundation. Therefore, a lightweight tiles is more preferred than a heavyweight tiles. And therefore, when we develop Airlocks technology to incorporate into lightweight tiles, it helps in certain markets, especially in Europe, right, where they have very old houses where they cannot do anything, they cannot demolish the building, but they have to preserve the building. And the only way to do that is to replace the roof with a lightweight roof to ensure that the house remains sustainable and the house is being preserved because of the historical reason. So that's what we do. All right. Next. Sugarcane. This one. What we do is that we actually use sugarcane as a base for renewable energy. So sugarcane usually is quite, you can find sugarcane in many parts of the world. So what we do is that we actually purchase a special machinery that performs well with this sugarcane to form a base for us. So we work with the university to create underlays out of lignin, a polymer product found in the wood. So what happened is that this come from the sugarcane. So what we are trying to do here is to use sugarcane as a bio-based material for reproducing our product. And that's what we do. All right, just to share with you. So sometimes if you look around you, some of the products doesn't have to be plastic. Some of the product doesn't have to be metal. There are sometimes product which is available. For example, the bulletproof vest. As you know, if I'm not sure whether you know, bulletproof vest, you can actually use certain grown material to use it as part of the bulletproof vest as well, because certain grass, right, certain types of plants, the plant itself or the material itself, if it's dry, it is being used, is being incorporated carefully, right? It can be used for the purpose of what we want to use, and these products are even better because it doesn't pollute the world. So likewise, we are doing this as well to ensure that the raw material that we have, especially things like sugarcane, is recyclable, is organic, is renewable, and therefore we are using it to replace something that cannot be replaceable, right? This is what we are trying to do. Next. Okay, we use a PVC membrane, like I said, for flat roof. So what we do is we actually collected, sometimes when we do, when we change a PVC membrane or flat roof, when we change a new membrane, usually we take out the old membrane, right? So what happened to the old membrane? So the old membrane, basically what we do is that we recycle. In this particular project in Germany, right, we recycle 4,280 tons of PVC, recyclable PVC membrane to use it back. We collect back and then we recycle it and we use it back. And this has actually provided a new lease of life, because if you don't have the source to get rid of this product, right, at the end of the day, you'll be at a dump site. And you know that very well, product like PVC, it can be quite a long-lasting product. Even though you expose it to the sunlight, rain or shine, or even under weathering, right? This product is very hard to decompose. So for that reason, the best way to ensure that this PVC is not being put at one side and we can actually use it and recycle it. So that's what we are doing right now. So we have found a way to do it, and we have used certain technology to recycle the product back. And with the recyclability, basically we can reduce the amount of PVC membrane back to the Mother Earth. Right. Next. Of course, as you know, photovoltaic is a way to move forward. In many parts of the world, even in Malaysia, right, solar photovoltaic has been one of the contemporary or one of the key driver for sustainability. So likewise, we are also doing that in many parts of the BMI group, and we are doing that even in China. In Malaysia, we have done that, but somehow along the way we stopped. But I can assure you, in North America, in Europe, in China, we are still selling, we are still installing, we are still promoting our photovoltaic to the customers. So photovoltaic is one way to generate electricity. But of course, in Malaysia now, they are giving 1-to-1. Okay. But this is one way to preserve and to sustain Mother Nature, Mother Earth. Right. Next. In Sweden, right, we have a collaboration on a green roof guideline. Just now I shared with you about flat roof, right? So in flat roof, actually you can use a certain technology that we know of, and you can turn your flat roof, right, into a green roof by incorporating certain expertise and correct design. And that's what we have been doing in Europe as well. And this have resulted in a very well received by the industry and roofing community. So what we do is that we work with a certain university to come out with the proper irrigation for those, especially grass, to make sure that it is very well taken care of. Because as you know, if you want to maintain a very nice green roof, right, you have to make sure that the grass is always green. And to ensure the grass is always green, you must make sure that there's enough water, moisture, sunlight, etc. But you must also want to make sure that these are all regulated so that it will not become a problem in terms of leakages. So we have done that with our what you call either thermoplastic polyolefin, or we have a PVC, has a solution. And then underneath, but on top of it, we have incorporated certain technology and know-how to ensure that you can actually put a grass on your rooftop. And of course, if you put a grass on the rooftop, your house will be even more cooler, right? This is what we are doing right now. Next. The same thing we are doing just now is the same. We are doing this in many parts of Europe as well. We are wanting to make sure that actually this green roof is growing quickly in many parts of Europe right now. Because if you were to look in any city of the world, most of the city are not green, except maybe for Singapore. But in most part of the city, you see that it's all concrete jungle, and it's actually not very nice. So if you imagine that most of the building that you see from the rooftop or from the air, if you were to ensure that the green roof is incorporated in every building in the city, your city will not only become cooler, but also it will give a very nice, warm, welcoming to people. I mean, if you're flying from the top, you will see a very nice city, because everything is green. So that's what we are doing right now. But of course, you have grass and all that. It is also a way to filter the pollution, absorb the CO2, and to improve the air quality. I think this is what we are trying to do now in many cities around the world. Next. Okay, what is a blue roof? Okay, let me share with you. We have a green roof. We have also BMI. We have blue roof. A blue roof is a system of rainwater retention, and it is a controlled drainage system on the roof. It is a great method of water attenuation and management of stormwater, and is key to sustainability in a building, especially in urban areas. So the blue roof can serve one or two functions. It can slowly release water into the sewage system to prevent flooding and overflow, or the water can be stored and then used within the building for irrigation, cooling, and recreation. So BMI main benefits for blue roof is it is a temporary storage for rainwater to mitigate the runoff impact. As you know, in many cities of the world, like you look at KL, you look at even in Georgetown or certain parts like certain area, mainly city, when there's a heavy rainfall, right? And nowadays, where the weather condition is so severe that you have seen flooding this year in many parts of 6 countries in Europe. You have seen flooding in northern part of China. And recently, you witnessed a few days ago, there was a flooding in New York City as well. MRT is flooded. You will be shocked to see that, in the city center itself, water comes up to maybe around, 6, 7, 8 feet high. So the weather have changed so much. It has impacted our environment. And therefore, if you have a blue roof, right, basically you can mitigate the rainwater runoff. It slows down. Okay, this is really important, especially in city area. That's why you see in many city, right, most of the time our road are flooded, because most of the time the road are old roads, and the roads are usually the lowest part of any construction or any area in the city, and therefore the water runoff, right, will actually go into the low-lying area, and that causes the flooding, especially on the roads, on the roads. And that's what happened in New York as well. So the other part of benefits of blue roof is to reduce flow rate of water from the roof, the storage of water for reuse such as irrigation and cooling, and make the drainage and to support layer for green roof, and it's very easy to maintain. All right. So our active blue roof system has been introduced to many parts of the market as well. So we have either active blue roof system or we have passive blue roof system. So for active blue roof, we are doing stormwater harvesting, right? And also in terms of passive blue roof system is mainly for irrigation, mainly for gardening, as well as for cooling of blue roofs. You're using a combination of water and specific roof construction and material specification. So the construction of the blue roof is completely dependent on the components used to make them sustainable. For example, if you are combining a blue roof with a green roof, you might like the water retention layer installed to be able to use the water runoff to keep the vegetation on your roof healthy. Other components that can make a difference to how the roof is composed are the filter fleece as well as the flow control system. These are very important to make sure that the blue roof construction is proper. And if you maintain it well, this blue roof can be very long lasting. Right, next. So we have project in France where the blue roof is actually being incorporated in the L'Oréal's headquarters in France, Paris as well. And this project has been awarded what they call Outstanding Sustainable Building Certification, the first for any research center. So they actually incorporated this special blue roof on their building. So just to share with you. All right, next. The other project with the next. The other project with the blue roof is also a project where what we have done in France is a multi-purpose sports hall with a flat roof. So the flat roof was destined to be a recreational space for ball games. But there's one problem. The roof flat surface always easily flooded by rainwater. It's like a container, it's like a swimming pool. So what happened is that when it rains, it is difficult for the children to play any sports in this particular building. So what we do is we introduce this blue roof, which we call a rooftop dual. It is a very exclusive system whereby it is used for waterproofing and also for rainwater storage. It's 2-in-1. And that is what we have done for this particular project. And basically this college with the blue roof has been awarded a ATEX technical certification. So now both children and teachers enjoy the space, which is also ideal for sports come rain or shine, no longer an issue. All right, next. So Planet, okay. Planet, of course, we are talking about, for example, in China, right? We have transitioned from solvent-based coating to water-based coating. In Malaysia, we have done that to many of our products. So one of the criteria in China as well for many of our plants in China, as you know, we also have concrete plants in China. China government has been very strict the last 5 years, where they have come up with many different types of regulation to ensure that there is less and less pollutant generated by the industry. So one of the criteria or the challenges that we face is about the volatile organic compound. In the production of our concrete tiles, right, if we were to use solvent, usually the solvent it actually pollutes the air, and therefore last time when our plant was built, right, our plants are built very far away from civilization. But as the cities start to grow, right, the residential area started to encroach, coming nearer and nearer to our plant, and therefore it become a problem to us right now, because the solvent-based concrete tiles, right, when they spray this coating onto the tiles, the smell actually goes around. So it's actually the community or the people that lives quite close to our plant actually start to complain. And therefore, the government has come up with certain regulation to ensure that not only BMI, but also other industry as well, the law is being regulated, so forth. So in many parts of China, basically what we do is we change this solvent-based coating into water-based coating to ensure that there's no longer any issue with the volatile organic compound. And that's what we have done. So we have, because of that, like our previous extraction process used 8 tons of activated carbon. So now the same process use only 1.2 tons. So we are reducing all those volatile organic compound, and we are taking care of Mother Nature. And we have reduced all these pollutants in the air, just to let you know. And we are doing the same for Malaysia as well, to ensure that we do not pollute the environment. So more and more of our product are basically water-based right now, water-based coating. And water-based coating is even more long-lasting. And usually water-based coating will provide a matte color, right? Matte color. It's not a glaze color, it's a matte color. Okay, next, sorry. As you know, BMI is a very big company. We are around 6.5 billion US dollar sales. So we have many offices all over the world. So as you know, if you were to use and put in place a very good IT infrastructure, right, it actually uses a lot of energy. And we saw that as an issue. So what we did is that we put a consultant to study on this to ensure that we wanted to ensure that it's sustainable. So at the end of the day, what we do is we only choose two locations or two places in the world where we can put our data center with no additional power consumption. So we have done that as well. And basically we have consolidated everything, our database, our data center into two physical sites in the world. I can't tell you where, but anyway, it is only two sites. And what we are trying to do is we want to reduce 2.3 million tons of CO2 every year. Because if you only have two physical center, right, for IT infrastructure, you reduce the energy consumption and you also reduce the CO2 emission into the environment. And that is the right thing to do, right? That's what we are doing. Next. Okay, recyclable bottles at BMI. In Germany, right, we throw away a lot of plastic bottles. And usually in Malaysia, sometimes this plastic recycled bottle end up in the river and it end up in the sea, and it's not being recycled. So what we do is in BMI Germany, right, one of our main supplier of polyester reinforcement has actually fully integrated in-house recycling process using 100% recyclable materials. And we work with them to ensure that they increase the amount of recycled material in our membrane production and reduce the use of new plastic. So we have actually reused over 550 million recycled bottles in our manufacturing process. It's the right way to reduce the number of plastic waste that goes into landfill as well as into river. And that's what we have been doing until today. Okay, next. Giving back. Okay, in most part of our, as you know, when you have a clay manufacturing, right, you need a quarry for clay, and you do a lot of digging. You do a lot of so-called, because you need the clay. Clay is the raw material itself. Like in Johor, in Malaysia, our clay manufacturing plant is in Yong Ping. Why Yong Ping? Because in Yong Ping, we have a very big area, a big piece of land where the raw material itself is clay. And therefore, what we have done is that whenever we use the land for the purpose of using the clay for quarry, right, we actually try to plant plants. We try to make sure that this area is being regenerated. It becomes like a woodland to encourage especially endangered species to thrive. Because the moment we take over the area, right, it can be a place whereby birds or animals, it is a place where they might be doing some migration, but we do not know, right? So the whole idea of this is that what we do is we work with our stakeholder to ensure that at least 30% of the land that we use doesn't go back to agricultural use. And what we do is that we hand over the land to conservation groups. For example, BMI brass, right? Sometimes we sell this used quarry for a symbolic price of €1 to nature NGOs such as NABU, the Nature and Biodiversity Conservation Union. So what we do is that we wanted to make sure that the area or the place is being used to protect things like crane, plover, strikes, tree frogs, etc., because these are the mother nature. So whatever we do is we want to preserve the endangered species and to ensure that conservation is done properly. So this is what we are doing right now. Even in Malaysia, right, this is what we are doing as well. Even what we do in Yong Ping is that when we quarry the clay, right, after a certain period of time, we will actually do some tree replanting in those areas to make sure that the area is being conserved and to make sure that the endangered species are not being endangered. That's what we are doing as well. Next. And lastly, my eco balance. What we have done, like I said, for BMI, right? BMI brass monia ecopal. We have manufacturing for concrete, clay, and metal. Okay. So we work with the OCO Institute, okay, in Germany. This institute has a very good reputation in terms of environmental field. I can give you the biodata right now. They are established in 1977 as a lawyer of the environmental movement. They are located in Berlin, Darms, and Freiburg. They have more than 100 over employees, and basically they also work for the German government as well as the EU and provide their services to private customers as well. And their task is basically about energy and climate. Example, energy and climate scenario. Nuclear technique, they do research into final storage of radioactive waste. Infrastructure enterprises, they look at sustainable mobility. Environmental law and governance, they talk about CO2 certification. Products and resources, we talk about eco balances. So we work with them. So next slide, please. So why we work with them is because they are a very good institute and they have very good credibility. And what I'm showing you today is that because of their credibility, it is a key asset to the institute. So many big multinational companies actually work with this OCO Institute, especially about environment and also sustainability. Company like even the German authorities, we have the Motorola, we have Electrolux, we have Volkswagen, DuPont, BASF, we have Procter & Gamble, Novartis. All these are big multinational companies, and they use OCO Institute to do a lot of research, to do a lot of survey for products and also about things that related to the planet, which can maybe impact the planet. So we work with OCO Institute, and the reason why we work with OCO Institute is also we want to know the product that we produce, whether it's concrete, clay, or metal roofing, how does it impact the environment? And being a stakeholders, right, what can we do if we know what we know from this research? Next. So the eco balance, we look at concrete, clay, and metal. And what we didn't expect is what surprises us after we have done this, after this institute have done their survey, their research and all that, they found that concrete is the most environmental friendly, especially in terms of CO2 emission. So this project actually constitute of, there's two partners. We have OCO Institute and University of Stuttgart. So it's supported by organization. Why? Because it fit into the position for us because we have many manufacturing sites in Germany, right? And also we have both the concrete tiles, the clay tiles, as well as the metal roofing. Okay, and because of this, the OCO Institute and the university students or the university people can actually have access to all this information, all this raw material. So they did this, and this is a year project. They have done a lot of internal review study, and the result is that the final eco balance was presented by ECO Institute by comparing clay versus concrete, and also later on with metal roofing as well, incorporated. So there's the involvement of Kami Metal Roofing as well, because Kami was probably previously part of Monia Group as well. Next. So the project assumption is that, of course, we based on a house, 160 square meter roof, both in Germany and Sweden. And when we take the assumption, we must make sure that the roof is made by either concrete tiles, clay tiles, and metal roof, but it must be 160 square meter. So what we do is that the purpose of this study must be for the concrete, clay, or metal to be a protection, to be a shelter, to be a roof. And for our product, right, we give guarantee of 30 years. Okay, BMI products in Europe, we give a guarantee of 30 years. And the roof construction, mainly the substructure of the roof, is more or less the same. This is to ensure that there's no major changes or more similar roofing than not similar. So we look at concrete, clay, and we look at from cradle to basically from the point where the product is being, like for example, when you talk about metal roofing, right, you start from the iron ore, right? You start from the iron ore, whereby you have to dig, you have to mine the iron ore from Mother Nature, from Mother Earth, and that causes a lot of problem to the environment, because iron ore, when you do anything with iron ore, basically it's going to pollute the entire area, entire city, or even the entire states. So that's what happened. Next. So the definition is their work is to collect, analyze, and evaluate the impact of a product on the environmental during its life cycle. Okay, it's a typical life cycle. It's from extraction of the raw material, just now I mentioned, to production, packaging, distribution, installation of the finished product on the roof, utilization phase and waste, as well as they look at recycling. And also they look at the impact on the environment, impact on the air, water, ground, and health. Next. And these are the processes that involve from cradle, from birth to from cradle, basically to grave, cradle to grave. So from the iron ore, from the mining, from concrete, from clay, everything. So it goes through different phases, and finally you have the emission, that is the greenhouse effect, acid rain, eutrophication, as well as particulate. Next. I'm running out of time, so I try to go faster. So what happened is that under this research, you can see that there's a clay roof, right, concrete roof and metal roofing. What I highlighted to you is this, the CO2 emission from metal roofing is the worst among all. But of course, in terms of clay generated 3,404 kilogram of CO2 emission for 160 square meter of roof. Okay, and then concrete is the least, 1,542 kilogram. And metal roofing is at 3,295. So among the three, actually, clay is the worst because you need to use a lot of gas to heat up. You need to fire the clean, right? So when you fire the clean, obviously you need a lot of energy. That's why clay actually uses the most. And then for iron ore, right, you need to melt iron ore before you fabricate, before you roll out the metal sheet. Therefore, you use a lot of energy in terms of production of metal roofing sheet as well. So among the three, of course, the worst is clay. The best is actually concrete. Next. In terms of energy, you can see that the usage. Okay, back to the earlier slides. So back to the earlier slides. From this, right, what we learn is that because we use so much energy in terms of production of clay, right? So what we do is that from this study, we actually draw the heat that when we fired the clay tiles, right, into the clean, the heat that we retrieve from the clean itself, we use it back at the pre-clean production processes. So that when we do that, right, we reduce the number of CO2 emission. That's what we'll be doing. So from that learning itself, we learn how to utilize our so-called the greenhouse effect. We minimize it and we use it for our better purposes. Okay, next. So in terms of energy, you can see that metal roofing use the most energy. They are using like 55,268 megajoules for the production of metal roofing. And clay tiles is 49,000 and concrete is the least, 10,000 only, around 10,813 megajoule. So in case of metal roofing sheets, almost all the primary energy demand is used for supplying raw material. Hence, for the production of steel and aluminum sheets. So fuel that we use for clean or clay drying, the electricity utilization is because of that. Then clay is prepared in such a way. That's why they use a lot of energy as well. Whereas in terms of concrete, right, it is the least usage of energy in terms of cement production. All right. Next. So in terms of SO2, we also realized that metal roofing causes a lot of pollution, meaning that they emitted a lot of sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide, when it mixed with water, right, in the environment, it will become acidic. It becomes acid sulfuric. So acid sulfuric over time will cause the forest to die. You know why? Because when your environment becomes more and more acidic, it will affect the trees, the environment around the area. So if you have a plant that iron ore plant or metal roofing plant nearby, right, it will cause a lot of problem to the environment. You can see that metal roofing emitted 50.26 kilogram of this SO2 into the environment, whereas concrete is the least, 4.5. Next. Eutrophication talks about the potential of these nutrients, such as phosphorus, in this case. They are essential for the planet as well as the plant and animals, but too much of it will cause problem because in this case, when you have a metal roofing iron ore company nearby, right, it releases around 8.93 kilogram for 160 meter of roof. So it will cause issue with when you have a lot of phosphorus in the environment caused by the iron ore, it increases sort of like a fertilizer because it will cause the increase of the algae in the lake, and that will cause overpopulation of the algae. And when the algae die, it will increase the amount of bacteria in the lake. And when when the bacteria increases, it needs a lot of oxygen. When the oxygen is being reduced, right, in the lake, basically the fish will die off. So one thing good will cause the other implication as well. Next. And of course, particulate matters. So when you have all these concrete, clay, or metal, right, you will release basically what you call pollutants in the air. So among the worst is metal roofing. So every time you fire up metal roofing iron ore, right, you release 32.3 kilogram of pollutants into the environment, as compared to concrete 4.49 and clay 9.97. Next. So in summary, what I want to share is this: the analysis of the eco-balance study, right, that we carry out shows that it is better to use concrete tiles, and concrete tiles is better than clay, but of course clay itself perform better than metal roofing. So in case of this atmospheric mercury emission in concrete roof tile is worse, but that is only for cement production. But the key thing is what I want to share with you is that what we can draw from this environmental impact assessment, concrete roof tiles are much superior to clay roof tiles, which are better than metal roofing sheets. These are the summary. All right. With that, I end my session. Thank you. Any question?
Thank you, John, for the informative insight of the BMI and sustainabilities.
I hope all of you understand because I'm going like a train. My apology because I'm only given 45 minutes.
Yeah, so far we get the elaborations of the sustainability from your presentation, and we saw clearly that the BMI is in line of the UN Sustainable Development Goal, or UN SDG, which is also categorized 17 goals of the SDG into people, planet, and product. I think it is also the key factor of the promote sustainability, health, and well-being of the people. I think we also learned that concrete roof tiles are more sustainable than clay roof tiles and metal roof sheets. I think there are a few questions raised by the audience. The first one is, hang on. The first one is, can you elaborate more on the advantages of the cool roof system compared with other school ordinary roof system?
Cool roof has been promoted by BMI Monia for the last more than 20 years. It is something that we are proud of because these are real. These are not information that we pick up from the air. We have 200 over scientists that work in our laboratory, technical center, day and night. So we have done all kinds of testing, and we come to realization that if you were to incorporate cool roof system either on a roof for residential houses, even for commercial building, or even for factory and all that, you will reduce the consumption of the energy. When I say consumption of the energy means if you reduce the amount of emission, or if you reduce the amount of heat coming from the top, as you know in tropical weather, right? Tropical weather actually 70% of the heat actually comes from the rooftop. So you need to address the issue of the roof first. So how do you ensure that that type of house is sustainable in terms of energy consumption? If your house is hot, right, you have to use a lot of aircon, right? So when you use a lot of aircon, you pay more for the amount of aircon that you use. So the hotter your house is, especially in the living area, the more energy that you're going to use to reduce the temperature indoor, right? Because you need to get the heat indoor out, and the aircon is doing the job for you. But the moment you reduce the indoor temperature to a certain level, right? And for example, from 26 degrees to 23 degrees, there's a 3 degrees difference, right? So if your indoor temperature is already 26, you only need another 3 degrees to reduce to 23. But if your indoor temperature is at maybe 28, that means you need more energy to get the 5 degrees out of your home. And what cool roof system do, either for school or for residential houses, is by using underlay with a good radiant barrier, which must be pure aluminium. And the best is that the product must be fire retardant, and to make sure that it is fireproof. So we also have to include the counterbatten. when you have counter batten, right, you increase the air gap between the roof tiles and also the underlay, so that the heat that is reflected by the underlay will be carried by the cool air up to the top of the attic. And if you use our breathable membrane, which is a dry fix at the very attic of the roof, right, this heat can actually get out of your roof without affecting the leaking problem. That means the dry fix actually stop water from coming in, but at the same time, the heat generated or reflected by the radiant barrier can get out of the roof very easily through our breathable membrane. So basically, this is a system, it's a passive system that doesn't use any energy at all. So if you are using this cool roof, right, you can reduce your indoor temperature a lot, and also the energy by up to even 30%. You can reduce the energy consumption by almost up to 30%. You know, that's a lot of money. All right. Yes.
So we also have the second questions, which is, will the color of the water-based coating roof will be easily degraded after certain of period if compared with the solvent type of the coating roof?
Good question. Of course, the coating that we use on our concrete tiles or clay tiles is very durable. And one of the reasons why it's durable is because we have actually tested the coating, the water-based coating at our technical center. And we do a weathering test. We do an aging test. We accelerated the aging test of the color coating, the water-based coating, and we can see how long or how lasting is the coating. So once the test has been conducted and validated, right, then only we will use that coating on and apply it onto our concrete tiles and clay tiles. But what I can assure you is this: our concrete tiles and clay tiles, when you expose to the weathering, right, it will age for sure. Anything that is colored will age over time. But the good news is, when it age, right, it age nicely. You will not have like spot, you don't have like color variation. You don't have that spot issue because I don't think like if you buy a new car, right, you don't want your car after a period of time under the weather, right, you have the spot, lighter, darker. You don't want that to happen. It will look very ugly. Likewise on the roof, if you buy a good roof, you install a good concrete tiles and clay tiles, the color is supposed to remain as long as possible. But when it age, right, the whole roof will age nicely. There will not be any color variation. So that's what I want to assure you. All right.
Thank you, John, for answering the questions. I think we have come into the end of this webinar sessions. I think on behalf of the IGM Malaysia GBC, we would like to express our gratitude to our speaker today, John Tan, and the fellow audience in the webinar. Malaysia GBC is a non-profit organization that promotes green buildings and sustainability. We are looking for more green industrial players like you to join us to grow the green economy. We also like to inform that there are more webinars and events are preparing for you. Do log on virtual.igem.my to check out for the upcoming events. And also, the survey form will be sending to your email shortly. Kindly fill out the survey forms and send us back for further improvement. Once again, thank you so much, and I wish you all stay safe and good health. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, James.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you.